The biggest question in football right now is simple. Who will win FIFA World Cup 2026? In this video, we analyze top contenders, team strength, and possible scenarios for the final outcome of the tournament. What if I told you that one football tournament stops the entire planet? Not a club match, not a league title. I am talking about a single competition where 32 nations, soon to be 48, step onto a stage so massive, so electric, so brutally unforgiving, that legends are born, empires fall, and grown men cry in front of billions. In 2022, Argentina held that trophy after 36 years of pain. Lionel Messi, the greatest of all time, finally had the one thing missing from his legacy. In 2018, France dismantled every team in their path with cold, calculated brilliance. But 2026 is a different beast entirely. 3 countries, 48 teams, the biggest World Cup in history. And the question the entire football world cannot stop asking: who is going to win it? Stay right here, because by the end of this video, you will know exactly what happened in 2018 and 2022, who the top players are right now, and which team has the real firepower to lift the FIFA World Cup 2026 trophy. Welcome. Let's talk football. The FIFA World Cup is not just a football tournament. It is the most watched sporting event on this planet. Over 5 billion people tuned in during the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. Let that number sink in. 5 billion human beings watching the same competition at the same time from every corner of the earth. It happens once every 4 years. National teams from across the globe compete through brutal qualification rounds just to earn a seat at the table. And once you're there is no tomorrow if you lose at the wrong moment. The tournament has been running since 1930. Brazil leads all time with 5 titles. Germany and Italy have 4 each. France and Argentina each have 2. But the battle for number 1 is far from over. Russia 2018. 19-year-old Kylian Mbappé explodes onto the world stage. France, coached by Didier Deschamps, arrived with pace, power, and tactical discipline that no team could handle. They defeated Croatia 4-2 in the final in Moscow, and it was not even as close as the scoreline suggests. Mbappé scored in that final at 19 years old, becoming only the second teenager in history after Pelé to score in a World Cup final. France had depth everywhere. Pogba, Griezmann, Kanté, Varane. This was not a one-man team. This was a machine. Then came Qatar 2022, and the football world witnessed something it will never forget. Lionel Messi, 35 years old. Many thought it was his last chance. Carried Argentina on his back through every match. 7 games, 7 performances of pure genius. The final against France was the greatest World Cup final ever played. France came back from 2-0 down in the second half. Mbappé scored a hat-trick in the final alone. But Argentina held on. They won on penalties. And Messi finally lifted the trophy he was always meant to hold. Mbappé finished as the Golden Boot winner with 8 goals. Messi won the Golden Ball. Emiliano Martinez won the Golden Glove. That tournament was a masterpiece of drama, pain, glory, and pure human emotion. Here is where things get dangerous, because 2026 is not going to follow the script anyone expects. Let me walk you through the top contenders and the real threats hiding in the shadows. Kylian Mbappé is now at Real Madrid. He is faster. He is smarter. He is more dangerous than he has ever been. France still has one of the deepest squads in international football. Defensive solidity, midfield control, and the most lethal forward in the world today. France enters 2026 as the team everyone is afraid to face. But France has a problem. History. In 2022, they were the defending champions and nearly won again, but stumbled in the final against arguably the greatest player ever. Can they handle that pressure again? Can Mbappé finally go all the way and become the undisputed king of world football? Brazil has not won a World Cup since 2002. 24 years. For a country where football is religion, that drought is almost unbearable. But 2026 brings a new generation. Vinicius Jr., electric, unpredictable, impossible to contain. Rodrigo, Endrick. Brazil plays with joy, flair, and the kind of individual brilliance that can destroy any defensive system in the world. The question for Brazil is always the same. Can they hold it together when the pressure is at its absolute peak. In 2022, they were eliminated in the quarterfinals by Croatia on penalties. The hurt runs deep. 2026 might be the year they answer their critics once and for all. And then there is Argentina, defending champions. But the football world keeps asking the same question. Who leads Argentina now that Messi is 38? The answer might surprise you. Lautaro Martinez has been on fire. Julian Alvarez is one of the most complete forwards of his generation. And Argentina's tactical organization under coach Lionel Scaloni is arguably the best in the world. Messi may still be there in some capacity. Even at 38, you do not write off the greatest player who ever lived. But Argentina's strength in 2026 is not one man. It is a team that knows how to win. England, 1966. That is the last time they won a World Cup. 60 years of hurt, near misses, and heartbreak. But this England squad might genuinely be different. Jude Bellingham at Real Madrid is a generational talent. Harry Kane, one of the greatest goal scorers in England's history, still hungers for that trophy. The tournament is partly in America, Canada, and Mexico, meaning large English-speaking crowds and massive support for England. Could 2026 finally be the year? Football is coming home, they say. Every 4 years they say it. But this time, the squad might actually back it up. Spain does not shout. Spain does not panic. Spain just controls. Pedri, Yamal, Morata, La Roja has rebuilt itself beautifully. They play pressing, high-intensity football that suffocates opponents. Lamine Yamal, born in 2007, just think about that, is already one of the most exciting players on earth. Spain could absolutely win in 2026. Now let us talk about the individuals. Because in football, sometimes one player changes everything. 38 kilometers per hour. That is how fast Mbappé can run. He is not just quick, he reads the game before it happens. At 27 in 2026, he will be at the absolute peak of his powers. If France goes all the way, Mbappé will be the reason. Bellingham is box to box. Goals, assists, leadership, big game mentality. He is everything England's midfield has lacked for decades. At just 22 during the 2026 tournament, he could become one of the most complete players in the competition's history. Defenders around the world genuinely struggle to sleep before facing Vinicius. He is unpredictable, emotionally charged, and technically brilliant. If Brazil is going to end their 24-year drought, Vinicius will carry them there. The Inter Milan striker has been one of the most consistent forwards in world football. Clinical, physical, intelligent. In Messi's shadow for years, 2026 could be his moment to step into the light. Norway, a nation that has never qualified for a World Cup in the modern era. But with Haaland as their striker, one of the most prolific goal scorers in football history, Norway is making a serious push for qualification. If they get there, Haaland versus the world would be one of the greatest storylines in sports history. Every World Cup has them. The team nobody expects. The story nobody predicted. Portugal, Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandes, and a new generation ready to rise beyond Ronaldo's legacy. Netherlands, Van Dijk, Gakpo, Reinders, organized, aggressive, and dangerous at set pieces. Morocco, who shocked the world in 2022 by reaching the semifinals, the first African nation ever to do so. USA, tournament hosts with massive home support, improving squad depth, and players like Christian Pulisic performing at the highest level in Europe. Japan, technically brilliant, tactically disciplined, and always capable of beating teams ranked far above them. For the first time ever, the World Cup expands from 32 to 48 teams. More nations, more stories, more upsets. The tournament will be held across the United States, Canada, and Mexico, the largest World Cup in history, with a projected audience of over 6 billion viewers. New stadiums, iconic venues like MetLife Stadium in New York, the Rose Bowl in Los Angeles, the Azteca in Mexico City. The atmosphere will be unlike anything the sport has ever seen. And in a field of 48 teams, the margin for error shrinks to almost nothing. One bad game and you are on a plane home. No second chances. No excuses. This is the World Cup. This is where greatness is tested. Legends are confirmed, and history is permanently written. So here is the question the entire planet is asking right now. Who lifts the trophy in 2026? France, with Mbappé finally delivering the ultimate title. Brazil, ending the longest drought in their proud history. Argentina, proving they can do it without relying on Messi's magic? England, ending 60 years of hurt on the grandest stage in sport, or someone completely unexpected? A dark horse team writing the most dramatic story the football world has ever seen. Here is what I believe. Football is the sport where the impossible becomes possible, where a 19-year-old wins a World Cup, where a 35-year-old finally gets his moment, where a country of 4 million people beats the giants. The FIFA World Cup 2026 will deliver moments that we will still be talking about 50 years from now. We are living through the golden era of football. The players on this planet right now, Mbappé, Bellingham, Vinicius, Yamal, they are going to produce something extraordinary, and you do not want to miss a single second of it. If this video gave you chills, if you felt that rush of football excitement, smash the like button right now. Subscribe to this channel because we are covering every angle of FIFA World Cup 2026. Predictions, player breakdowns, country analysis, when the live updates when the tournament begins. Comment below, who do you think wins the 2026 World Cup? I read every single comment. Let's talk football. See you in the next one. Salam.